It is a pre-recorded episode 59 of Twitchy Tuesdays. And get ready to ground yourself in the lush pastures of Taurus season in our Zodiac Spotlight. We will also continue our captivating conversation in our series of fortunate events. And for our chart chronicles today, we have the electrifying conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. And as always, we end with the twitchy tip of the week. So let's harness these steady Taurian energies and the dynamic forces of Jupiter and Uranus to manifest some really amazing things. Let's start our thriving with cleaning out the broom closet. So, yo, this is the week we need. This is exactly what we want to see for the week after a total solar eclipse. Oh, like beauty, very little aspects, direct aspects, just a lot of integration time. Do not skip the integration period. So let's start out with what we have. We have 4-9, nada, nada, nothing. The eclipse was enough, not a nothing. And then on 410, Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Now that's going to be a punch. Remember, we talked about that last episode. That would be a little bit of a punch in the face. And it is a signature theme of the eclipse, anyways. We're already building up to this. And it's just, it is what it is. We know what's happening. Moving on. On 411, Venus in Aries will trine Pallas Athene retrograde in Sagittarius at 7 degrees 55 minutes. That is also the same day that Mercury retrograde will have his cazimi at 22 degrees 32 arc minutes. And then we get breathing room from 412 to 414, 3 full days again of that integration from the eclipse, integration from the Mars conjunct Saturn, integration from Mercury's meet up with the sun, going into the heart of the sun and coming out reborn, refreshed, renewed, ready to finish out his retrograde and then move forward. And then on 415, we have our next series of fortunate events with Mercury retrograde conjunct Chiron and Aries at 19 degrees 49 minutes. Like I said, this is the week that we need after the eclipse. And as you know, this is pre-recorded. We're trying something new in April. I have 2 trips where I won't be live or be able to be live for Twitchy Tuesdays. So we're pre-recording and releasing at 5:30 p.m. Central still on Tuesday, but in video format. So we're going to see. We're doing a little observation, a little test, a little testy test as we talked about yesterday. So let's head over to our Zodiac Spotlight. So we've got Taurus season we're going to talk about. The Jupiter conjunct Uranus is part of our chart chronicles. So we'll pull up the chart for that. We're going to start though with this series of fortunate events. And we're just going to keep going. I think pretty much all the way through April, we're going to have some sort of conversation about this next step in this series of fortunate events. This time it is now Mercury retrograde time. So when we spoke last week and we had this like whole thing with Mars and Aries and Mars coming back to his kingdom, now this is Mercury's time. So Mercury retrograde will be heading back to meet up with Chiron at 19 degrees 49 arc minutes of Aries. As you just saw, that was on 415. This is his second meetup with Chiron. And I will say, Page of Cups, Mercury, I'm going to move the Aquarian Tarot deck over, Page of Cups. Mercury was trying to get a little cheeky, with me and really veiled the fact that he is going for a third and final meetup with Chiron on May 6th. Didn't have that in my list. Again, I didn't even have the conjunction highlighted. And when I realized that today, getting prepared for this video, I was thinking through that and I got the image of the onion and the layers being peeled back on an onion sort of feel, like this Page of Cup, like not everything is as what it seems. Here's this Page of Cups, this is a cup of water, but yet a fish is coming out of it. Not everything is as it seems. And it's like, it was kind of clear that all things get revealed in the time that they need to be revealed. You can't rush when the fish is going to pop out of this cup. You can't, like, if you were just staring, like he's kind of looking, like he is staring right at this cup. The fish is staring right at him. They're having a whole moment together. And there's still things that are happening around the outside of this, right? We've still got these tulips that are blooming, or maybe those are roses, whatever. There is life that's occurring around this. And when things need to be revealed, they will be revealed. We weren't ready for this third and final meetup of Mercury with Chiron. We weren't ready for that story last week when we were talking about Mars's kingdom. It didn't need to be part of our awareness at that point. Now we are. Now we have the awareness. Now we see the fish in the cup. We're not disillusioned. Oh, we know what's happening now. So let's investigate that. Just to level set on the journey so far, 318 Mercury met up with the North Node on 320 with Chiron. Well, we've got a bunch of things happening there. Let's see what we have. The Chariot, the Magician, the Ten of Rods, and the Fool. Man, this Magician has been promised and prevalent all the way through this April. From the end of March into April, as we've been talking about April, the Magician sitting squarely right in the middle. So Mercury met up with the North Node on 318, then with Chiron on 320. Maybe this is the Page of Cups, right? This first initial Mercury meetup. Here's the Page of Cups. Again, we've talked about this, gathering information, understanding where we're at. How are we going to think about this? I'm being the observer. I'm not actually taking direct action on anything. I'm allowing, even though I may want to, fell into that today. I may want to take action, but I need to temper myself, temper my feelings, my needs to take action and become that hangman in reverse from last week, sit back and go, okay, hold on. Let me make sure that that's all the information that I need before I make my final decision. Don't jump in to a decision willy-nilly. Have this conversation first. Then we had the Sun and meet up with the North Node and Chiron 4-4 and 4-8. Obviously, that was the great Chiron eclipse. Here's the Chariot ushering something brand new in, having a sense of impact, moving very quickly, things coming into fruition very quickly, understandings, full impact. The thing that is interesting with the Chariot and the rest of these cards in this row, and having this come out in that Sun North Node Chiron position, there is like this Chariot card is a warrior. You see here, there's not a typical, this isn't, this is the Aquarian Tarot. This is not a typical Chariot deck where you see the chariot, you see the horses, you see it's the card of action and movement forward. We don't get that here. What I see in this Chariot is a warrior ready to go, a warrior ready to, get in that chariot and move the steed. Somebody that's very proud. Like, think about it. Not all gladiators didn't enjoy being a gladiator. Some were forced into that, for sure. That is absolutely a thing. But some really truly thrived in it and ended up enjoying. They saw it as a path, a way out of maybe servitude, a way out of slavery, a way out of where they were. They saw it as a place where they could utilize the tools and the natural gifts that they had been given in order to create fame for themselves, things of that nature. So again, this Chariot with this Sun North Node Chiron, something opened up during that eclipse, and now it's about, all right, what are we going to do with that? There's this gaping hole here in the middle. what are we going to do with this now information? What are we going to do with this new awareness? What are we going to do with this understanding that we have? Then we come over to what we're talking about today, which is 415, Mercury and Chiron meeting up in Aries for now the second time, and Mercury is retrograde at 19 degrees 49 minutes. Okay, I wasn't, this is a page. I was learning new information. Holy shit, a hole came. Wait, there's something really impactful here. Okay, now what I'm going to do with it. How am I going to utilize what I got? See, like here's the sword from the chariot. Here's the cup from the page. Selecting all of the things that are needed. How am I going to alchemize? What am I going to do with this? When Mercury, because this is what we're talking about today in our series of fortunate events, when Mercury stations direct on 425 at 15 degrees 59 minutes of Aries, he is going to like just like kiss the North Node. They're not going to come back in conjunction with each other. So it's still at 15 degrees though. It's still at that pivot point, albeit 1 arc minute away from not being. However, we get there. So, what is this magician? What do you need to do differently or with the information, with the tools that you gathered to begin to go forward? Because on 417, 421, Venus is going to meet up with the North Node in Chiron. And then on 5-6, this is what we missed last week when we started, when we had talked about this, what's going to happen. 5-6 is when Mercury will head back to his conjunction with Chiron. This time, though, at 21 degrees, 2 arc minutes of Aries. That is a new decan for Chiron. Chiron will be entering a new decan of Aries, the third and final decan. And now here's Mercury transitioning into this new decan with an abundance of information. An abundance of information. All of the things needed for this path to move forward. Here in at 5-6 is where maybe we can start making some of those pivots that we had. We start seeing some of the fruition of those pivots. We start working through some of them. We have better information. We make different choices than we did. And then here we have the Fool, which I love because after this 5-6 conjunction at 21 degrees, Mars will meet up with the North Node in Chiron between 519 and 529. And that's now like this whole, again, Chiron is in a brand new decan. This is a whole new world. The Fool. It's a whole new adventure. It's a whole new type of healing process. It's a whole new thing that Chiron gets to explore. It's in the building though. This is all like one layers on top of each other, and they all work together to get us to this new adventure. So, what does it mean that Mercury doesn't exactly hit the exact degrees of the North Node? That was a question that kind of came up. It's like, man, why was it that he only got one pass with the North Node? Obviously, that's all he needed, but and then like kind of this fleeting moment. But with Chiron, Chiron was what the universe decided he was going to scrub back and forth at this current time. Why is that important? Why was it Chiron versus the North Node? And what kind of came up, and this is something that I know personally I'm going through myself, is what stories are we rewriting right now? What stories, like even just in this spread right here, what stories are we like telling ourselves, reconstructing, letting go of, healing through? It's been a very common theme for me since Chiron has been in Aries. It's been a lot about creating my story for the me today and rewriting the stories that need to be written. Um, I didn't, so Chiron got seated in Aries February of 2019. And at that time, I did not have this awareness of rewriting my stories. That didn't actually occur until like 2022 that I started to realize like, hold on a second. I'm really rewriting my stories right now. Like I'm being given an opportunity to not hold on to the trauma that I have around some of these stories, heal them and rewrite them into something different, something that is more aligned for me as I sit today. And if we think about that, it really makes sense because if we look at it from each decan of Aries, so the first 10 degrees of Aries is the first decan, 10 to 20 is the second, 20 to 30 is the third decan of Aries. And if we think about it, that first decan was all about from February 20 of 2019 until that 2022 marker. That was all Chiron working me in restructuring me, working in a different capacity in my brain, restructuring my energy centers that allowed me to have this opening to be able to rewrite my stories. It was getting the fortitude necessary, right? If we looked at this, it's like, okay, the 10 of rods. That first decan was kind of like, all right, we need to break you all the way down. We need to break you all the way down. We need you to have this breakthrough, this restructure with the chariot. We need you to be looking at things a different way with this page of cups. Then once we're there, let's start actually, again, I love that the magician is in this center spot. Let's start actually rewriting those stories, dropping 10 of rods, dropping the baggage that you have, moving forward in a more healthier direction, the chariot, and getting some of this new fool, getting that new energy of, you know what? You don't have to be triggered by this anymore. That may be not even who you are anymore, but why do you keep telling yourself that that is who you are? And having these deep and like Page of Cups, having these deep conversations and truths with yourself. So, if the second decan has been all about rewriting my stories, and if we want to look at it this way, first decan, second decan, here's what I can expect more of. That could be a thing too. Um, what is the third going to bring? What other things can I drop? What new adventures is that going to create? What new healing create for me? Chiron's going to be in Aries in and out of the third decan until June 2026. This is going to be continuation for a hot minute, going all the way through. I'm beginning that journey. I turned 40 last year, so I am beginning my journey to my Chiron return. And getting to that Chiron return, which won't happen for, definitely like 10 more years, exact dates unknown, but we're getting there. But I know that that's upcoming. And what Chiron is working with me now is getting me ready for that Chiron return. Getting my being, my thoughts, all of that, getting that healing needed. So that way when that Chiron return happens, it is full explosion of, hey, let this is the next half of your life. Let's get it going. Let's move. Let's do these things. Like you don't need to hold on to all of this anymore. Um, so it's all about healing with Chiron, right? We know that. These restructurings of stories for me have been hugely healing for me. And I'll just kind of share just a couple to kind of let if this is resonating with you and you've kind of seen this in your own life, this is how it showed up for me. Travel. I restructured my stories around traveling, especially with partners, my husband, rewriting the story that it's not traumatic. It is healthy to travel with your husband, your partner, whoever that might be. Bread. That has been the last couple of months. I've been gluten free for 20 years. And I realized very recently that I was telling myself a story that may not be true anymore. So now I'm working to peel back that onion. Is it true? Is it not true? Why did I hold on to that for so long? And is there a different way? Does it have to be that actually you do need to stay away from breads or flours or whatnot? Let's unravel this. And that is still in process. I don't have the answer to that yet. Another one was eating chicken. This happened when we moved to Hawaii. So 2022, I had been running a program since I was a teenager around eating chicken. Obviously, you can see food and travel. This is me. Um, I had been running this program and a story, a legitimate story that I would tell others and I would tell myself was true around chicken, around eating chicken. Bullshit. Called it. Done. Moved on. Healed. Woo. All right. And just continue to question all of those things. So they have gotten me out of these stuck patterns that I truly didn't even know that I was actually stuck in. I had no concept that this was a story I was telling myself that was keeping me from living the most expansive life that I could. Now, obviously, there are medical things that you have to be aware of. There are, you need to honor what your body is telling you and what that is, but it is okay to relook at your stories and go, is that true? I mean, even another one, Disney. Disney's been another program that I've been running. And how much like I love Disney. I love that was my magical safe space when I was a child, when I was a teenager, and when I was in my early 20s. It was a space where I could let my magic free and not be judged for it because that whole place is magical. And it was this safety mechanism that I was keeping in play. There's another story that's being rewritten. So, again, also travel. Here we go. So obviously, travel and food are big things for me. But it's also now questioning like it allowed me in breaking apart some of these things in understanding that I am rewriting my stories. What that has done for me is it's allowed me the opportunity, the fortuitous, whatever you want to call that, the openness of questioning more of my stories, my thought processes. If I go to tell people a story about me, because somebody wants to learn more about me, I now have to look at that and go, is that actually what happened? Or is that something I've been telling myself has happened? And how do I actually want these stories to come out? What are things that I do want to share? And what are things that I don't want to share? I have facts, but if anything is not a fact, I need to be relooking at that. So it's helped me to not be stuck in the past, but instead to honor the past, honor all of this energy, honor the things that I've been telling myself because at that time they were true for me. Honor that. And it's simply being able to be in that space to honor it, but then moving forward with where we are today. So that has been a little bit of how Chiron has been in Aries has been working with me. Chiron in the North Node, we talked about it. That's all about healing forward, all about healing, healing forward, the chariot. It's all about healing towards your highest purpose, being that enlightened magician, having your archetypes, that whole cohesive self picture, being able to regulate archetypal energy. And it's the healing that gets you to the 10 of rods, the next step in your journey, fool, the next part of your destiny path. And ultimately with the North Node here as well, this is all what some part of your energetic being, if this is what you choose to believe, wanted to have during this lifetime, wanted to learn through, wanted to incorporate, wanted to gain this experience and this understanding and this knowledge. So, with Mercury being the target of this conversation of series of fortunate events, how do you understand, think, and speak about it? You just heard my spiel, how I understand, think, and speak about it. How does that show up for you? I am creating prompts for all of these series of fortunate events in short video format, so less than 60 seconds. And as they happen, they will be released to YouTube and X, and they can be found in the Sabian Exploration playlist on YouTube, or just through scrolling. You can check out my highlights on X. I post all of them in the highlights. All right, that part is done. Oh, okay. We're just going to leave those cards there, they said. That was a specific message. So now we're going to go forward and talk about Taurus season. Oh, all right. There's a lot. Taurus season, there's a lot of Taurian energy. We still have our clusters. We've had our clusters since the beginning of the year. That will not. Tower and Ten of Pentacles coming out. That will not change until we get to Gemini and we get to that like June-ish sort of area where we start, those clusters start to break away as planets begin retrograding, etc. So, Taurus season though, May is very filled with Taurus energy. It's a very Taurian month. And if that's your vibe, awesome, because it's going to be time to enjoy. It's going to be time to slow down, be in the earth, enjoy the sunshine that's out now, enjoy the changing into summertime, enjoy the process. Um, I love this depiction of 10 of Pentacles. Let me see if I can get it closer for y'all. I know this, like, okay, there we go. Because it's this enjoyment. It's the couple that is staring out underneath a blanket, staring at their kingdom and having gratitude and taking a moment in the sunshine, being willing to slow down a little bit and look at all of the beauty that is surrounding you. All of the beauty, Tower card, all of the beauty that came from all of the beauty that came from the destruction that had just occurred, right? Again, I saw this picture, and for those in America that, had heard about the Texas wildfires that occurred up by Amarillo, there were multiple wildfires, lots of land lost. I saw this picture yesterday on X, and it was a picture of that location and the little green buds that are starting to bloom and form and grow from the ground after such devastation, after such a tower moment that occurred in that area. And that to me, I'm getting goosebumps. That to me, that picture, that symbology is what this Taurus season can be all about. It's that energy signature of that Taurus season is, yeah, we went through something. Obviously, the tower's here. We went through something. Collectively as a community, as a state of Texas, we went through something. And here we are on the other side of that. And guess what? Life is continuing on. We are seeing life come back. We're seeing that regenerative process. We are grateful that, we didn't lose homes or whatnot. We were able to support our cattle. We were grateful that the state of Texas was able to provide resources and stuff like that. Again, I don't know if any of that happened. We were not personally affected by those wildfires, but just to kind of work through some of the energies here. um, and obviously, everybody could have a very different experience. However, blooming has occurred. Taurus season will bring that life in. So let's take a Taurus season breakdown. 421, Juno will station direct in Virgo. And of course, I say, hey, let's talk about Taurus season. And I didn't even write down the first day of Taurus season, which I think is, yes, the 19th of April. Okay. So 19th of April, Taurus season begins. Yay. Happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. 421, Juno will station direct in Virgo. 423, Scorpio full moon. We love that. 425, Mercury will station direct in Aries. 429, Venus will head into Taurus in the home sign in Taurus season right after we have Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus. It's a whole vibe. So she will head there. 4:30, Mars will be in Aries. 5:2, Pluto will station retrograde in Aquarius. This is his final transit back to Capricorn. He will head back. He will kiss the last degree of Capricorn. Then he will head forward. And in November, we will have the next 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius complete. Like that's going to be where he is at. He is now officially seated. So that will be his last retrograde back into Capricorn. So that's going to be interesting. I don't think he will make it to Capricorn in Taurus season. I doubt he will, but let's just take a look. He does not hit Capricorn till September, which he will September 2nd, which is on a new moon, by the way. He will literally be at the 30-degree marker of Capricorn, so 2959. And then he'll head back September, and then I don't have an ephemeris after that because I've got to get a new honeycomb. So September is when he'll be there. So he'll still be in Aquarius, getting a retrograde feel in Aquarius. This is good for us to understand because he'll be doing these retrogrades over the next 20 years before he touches back down into the last degree of Capricorn. Then we have the Taurus new moon on 5/7. 5/15, Mercury will head into Taurus. And here's our cluster. We have a Taurus Palooza. Sirius will station retrograde in Capricorn on that same day, May 15th. On the 16th, Pallas Athene will retrograde back into Scorpio. And then that rounds out our Taurus season breakdown. So May is really, again, a Taurus filled month, Taurus filled clusters. I also am kind of feeling like there's a choice here. There's a choice to be here. There's a choice to be here. Um, Taurus does bring some really amazing things after change, right? It's a fixed sign. It allows you to integrate that change in. It's an earth sign. It allows you to ground the changes that may have been swirling up here or in here or in here, allows you to ground them into the ground, allows you to come up with gratitude and understanding and love and joy and appreciation, spending the quality time at home that you need to, um and just really loving that change of season, being like, I just keep going back. I just see the sun. Like, I just keep going back to the sun, spending time outside in the sun, being appreciative that the change of season is here, the sun is here, and we can be joyed by its warmth. So that is what we have for Taurus season. Obviously, as we go through Taurus season, we will be talking about all of these transits and what they really look like and mean. Oh, you want those over there? Okie dokie. Okay, chart chronicle time. Let's see what we got. Oh, I'm so excited. This is Jupiter conjunct Uranus, y'all. This is it. This is excitement in its greatest form. I am super stoked for this. It is an absolute different flavor from anything that we've been dealing with in at the end of March and all of April. So I'm super excited that this energy is here. Let's though break it down and talk about it. So I do have the chart up. This is the chart where Jupiter and Uranus, if you look over on the right side of the chart, are conjunct in Taurus And you can see here that the sun is at 1 degree, 32 minutes of Taurus. So just entered into Taurus season again on that 19th. This conjunction will happen on April 20th at 10:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. So 21 degrees, 50 minutes of Taurus. Here is Jupiter and Uranus just, and this is a strong energy that is going to be building up for from now, it's already present, all the way until the 20th, where they meet, and then will last for multiple days afterwards as they begin to separate away from each other. And Jupiter moves on and starts to head on his way to Gemini, which is also incredibly exciting. So having Jupiter movement is awesome. I'm very excited about this. Um, Couple of notations for this chart and what will occur on this day, what type of energy is present. First off, we want to always look at the ruler of the sign that this is happening. Well, that is Venus. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and she is right here at 19 degrees, 44 arc minutes of Aries, where she just met up with Mercury, right? As Mercury's been retrograding. Mercury is about ready. What did we say our time frame was with Mercury? We have 25th. So 5 days after this, Mercury is on his way to slowing down. Venus, though, is on her way to her conjunction with Chiron. So at the time that Jupiter and Uranus meet, her and Chiron are already in a conjunction. They're just not exact yet. Venus is making her way. Chiron is sitting at 20 degrees, 8 arc minutes of Aries. So you have that very present here. So there is Venus is fiery up in Aries. I enjoy a Venus in Aries. It's kind of that like no holds bar, like the bitch is back. Like let's get moving. We are doing things. And then she kind of gets this meetup with Chiron. She's had a very interesting journey over the past year. During her journey, let's just call it from Aries to Aries, during that journey, she's had a whole level of stuff, right? She did her retrograde in Capricorn. She did her retrograde time in Leo. She's done kind of all of these things and now is coming back to Chiron with this newfound like energy and respect and going like, hey, now I'm here. What am I? I've grown. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, you know, what that was, what I healed through, what I'm grateful for, where I'm moving next, what is happening. And let's talk about this energy that's in my home sign, this Jupiter and Uranus energy. And as that shit does shake, it is electrifying. Jupiter and Uranus, it has impact on self, but sometimes I mean, not sometimes, it has impact out on the world. Two very different impacts. What occurs in the world when that conjunction goes direct is what it's going to be. Then you're also feeling it personally. You're also doing things that are personal in nature with that. And Venus wants the things that are all about the worth, your self-worth, your values, those sorts of things. And how as Jupiter and Uranus shake shit up in expansive ways out in the world, how do you personally deal with all of that? How do you think through those things? How does that change? And how does that shake your foundation, your personal foundation? And then what changes do you make from there? Okay, they're saying start the card. Start the cards. All right. So it is a totally different flavor, this Jupiter and Uranus meetup. Additionally, we have support from Mars. There is a sextile within a degree with Mars sitting at 22 degrees, 40 arc minutes of Pisces. Mars is firmly smushed between Saturn at 15 degrees, 43 arc minutes of Pisces, and Neptune at 28 degrees, 37 minutes of Pisces. He is smushed down the middle. So he's still kind of in one ear hearing Saturn's grumblings from their conjunction. And he is also seeing and potentially hearing whatever Neptune, like the siren song that Neptune is trying to present to him to lure him into the deeps and into the depths before he gets rebirth into his home sign of Aries. So this sextile is really interesting how that might come up. Again, we're looking at this is a big thing for the world, but personally, our personal planets are activated here. So how are we personally dealing with it? Do you have the energy, quite frankly, with this being in Pisces at 22 degrees? Do you have the energy to even take action right now with what you're seeing? Do you have the energy to even, like, this could be, I don't even have the energy to give two fucks right now. Okay. Oh, okay. That happened. All right, cool. It is what it is. Like, maybe that's just Mars's sextile, right? It's like, okay, Four of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. Ooh, keep the pentacles coming. Um, the other thing is there is a very strong trine to both Cirrus. Hello, Cirrus. Okay. So this is the Cirrus and Black Moon Lilith conversation. All right. Let's put these here and let me get one more for this middle. We got a hole. We got a hole. Fill in the story for us, Spirit. What do we got, ancestors? Fill in the story. Thank you. Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm going to put this over here. Actually, we're going to move these because this is the card of the day. There we go. Okay. So, trine to Cirrus. Cirrus is right here at 19 degrees, 51 minutes. Here you can see the trine. It is within my 3-degree orb that I like to work with. So it is present. That energy of Cirrus is present in Capricorn. And there is also a trine, again, 19 degrees, 22, or sorry, excuse me, 22 degrees, 19 arc minutes of Virgo. So here, if you'll look, again, it's not exact, but there is a grand earth trine that is present during this meetup. And it's this grand earth trine, not with just any points. These are our goddess asteroids. These are the wisdom keepers. These are the ones that have been and have seen the entirety. These are the crones, right? This isn't Venus as the maiden, maybe even the mother, depending. She is in Aries, so I'm going to go more maiden. These are the crones, the wisdom keepers, the storytellers, all of those here anchoring in this grand earth trine on the exact moment that Jupiter and Uranus are shaking all things up and meeting up in Taurus. So the conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus only happens every 14 years. So this is a big deal transit. Okay. It is highly positive. It's a highly optimistic event. Um, but it does have bang to it. It has, especially Uranus really has been working in Taurus, and that has been shaking things up. So it can bring forth a lot of really amazing discoveries and developments that tend to be found in the sign, in the themes of the sign that it is in. So you want to focus on expansion and innovation of Korean things. I'm not even looking at these cards because it's like, nope, you'll get it once the message comes out. But there is quite the spread here that we're going to talk about. So expansion and innovation of Taurus things. The Earth, Taurus. Here we have Earth present in these pentacles. Money, Pentacles, money, the devil maybe. Money is huge. Soil, soil. What do we have here? Look at this page of rods with all of these. grasses growing, soil, material goods. Here you have the cups. Again, sometimes the Three of Swords, material goods, like not having things, the hurt that that can cause or bring, etc. Synthetics. Synthetics are very interesting. And again, as we grow as a society, as our technology grows, things that come under, like from a Hellenistic perspective, synthetics may not have ever have been something that ancient astrologers would have tied to a sign like Taurus. However, again, this is the beautiful thing about astrology is as we grow and develop as a society, as our technology grows and develops, there are things that can end up being signatures and additional signatures from the traditional Hellenistic style of astrology, where earth, money, soil, material goods, all of that is very traditional for Taurus. But synthetics, especially things like synthetic food, synthetic growing of things um growing cloning earthly things, synthetics of growing like synthetic limbs, um things like that are very interesting kind of new flavor that Taurus is bringing in as we again grow and develop as a society. Plus, obviously, food, period, done, right? So if we think about what Uranus has been doing in Taurus and food, I'm totally hearing this Three of Swords, our relationship with food, Three of Swords. If we think about what Uranus has been doing in Taurus, it has been a lot around our money and our food, which, if you want to just look at anything, it's all about resources, all about our resources. So the supply chains that bind money and food together, or bind money in our society, or bind food in our society as separate, or again, they do have interwovenness to it. Uranus has been testing the foundations of that and exploiting all of the cracks in those areas. When Uranus gets done in Taurus, we are going to have a very, very different outlook on that. We're going to have a very different structure in place. We're going to see those changes. And as Pluto continues to do work in Aquarius, you're also going to see a lot of that come up as well. So with Jupiter, Jupiter is going to give Uranus that expansion to continue to test those cracks, to continue to break down those structures that are needing to be broken down. So, what you'll want to look for is the house or houses that this is going to occur in your natal chart. As you know, again, this meetup might only be, here you'll see it. This is the house system right here. You'll see it. It's in the sixth house in this chart. So if this was your natal chart, that is where you would see this. Those would be the themes that you would want to look at, because that is where a burst of insight and or growth could happen. So again, this is where the understanding, and I love that it's in Taurus, and I love that it is a fixed sign, because it's the understanding that individually and doing our own individual work, we impact the whole. But when a conjunction like this happens, when a transit like this happens, an aspect like this happens, there is things that get affected at a large collective level, but it is our individual work that we do and our individual experiences that allow or support or hinder, whatever that looks like, all sides of the coin, this collective experience. So, meaning this event typically triggers important discoveries and developments. Well, discoveries and developments don't just happen out in the collective consciousness. it typically means that there is a person or a group of people that are doing their work in their fields, that they are working down their destiny path to bring forth. And when this conjunction happens, it opens up that energy center to release this discovery, this development, this whatnot, that then allows that to become part of the collective consciousness. It's all, it's all together. One doesn't work without the other. And on the opposite side, especially in Taurus, it could be development out there, right? Out in the ethosphere. I mean, what if like nature gives us a blessing and we have a whole new island show up, right? Another island up in the water. Look at that. Wow. What does that mean? Now we have to come back from this conscious perspective of, oh, look at what the universe gave us. Okay, cool. What am I going to do with that? How am I going to integrate that into this, into me? So, with all of that present, I want to look at these cards. I'm going to come back here as this conjunction happens. The strong personal energies with Venus and Mars here are what to me is really tying this together, and the wisdom that Sirius and Black Moon Lilith are providing in this grand earth trine. So that's how we're going to look at these cards, not from that collective perspective, but let's bring it down to us. What is this looking like for us? So let me come back here so you can see the cards bigger and we can have this conversation. No matter what, this to me is the crux of everything. This 3 of Swords. How we think, how we feel about it, how as things change, what did we need to let go of? Uranus is our otherworldly gifts. He is the giver of those gifts, just like Saturn. So I've said this a couple of different times. I'm going to say it again. Jupiter for me is not a gift giver. Jupiter allows you the opportunity to expand that which is already present. That is how I work with Jupiter. Saturn, and by the same thought process, Uranus are our gift givers. It is through Saturn where we get our gifts because it's the work that we do, the boundaries that we have, the structures that we have that we work through, and we gain our wisdom, we gain our gifts, we gain our earthly gifts, since Saturn is the planet that we can see here down on Earth with our naked eye. Uranus is our otherworldly gifts. So it is through the trials and tribulations of Uranus, it's through the shakeups of Uranus, it's through the um it's through Uranus transits, it's through that Uranus transit. I can't even say it a different way. Like, here's Mercury retrograde coming in, that you get otherworldly gifts, gifts that are on maybe a higher spiritual level, gifts that heal the heart versus actually being tangible down on earth like Saturn is. Like, when you think about Saturn, and the devil is present, so Saturn is present. When you think about Saturn, Saturn is Capricorn. That is an earth sign. Things come on earth. So let's say you want to work hard, and you have a career that you worked really hard at, you've done really great things at. It's through that hard work that you get prestige, you get acknowledgments, you get recognition, etc., etc. Like, I mean, anybody that has written a dissertation knows this. This is Saturn in its finest form. I spent 2 years and oodles of research that I didn't get paid for, putting together my dissertation, and at the end of it, I become a doctor. Hopefully, that's the hope, right? If everything goes as planned, I become a doctor. That's my recognition. My recognition, I get a PhD. My recognition for the work that was done. That is a earthly gift. We can use that in our day to day. Uranus has a different flavor. Uranus doesn't work in the earth the same way that Saturn works in the earth. Uranus is going to be the healing of the heart, the healing of the otherworldly gifts that allow us to continue that path down our destiny path, getting towards what we are here to achieve, our final purpose in life. And a lot of that is healing the brain, how we think, our connection to our higher self, our connection to our ancestors, our connection to our faith, our connection to XXX all the way down the line, our spiritual energy, our well-being. It's healing all of that. Again, Jupiter just comes in and makes this bigger. Look, instead of 4 cards or 3 cards, which is typically normal when we have conversations, look, we get more cards. Jupiter makes it bigger. It makes the opportunities more prevalent. It gives you that sense of optimism that, hey, I really can get through it this time. Look, the devil isn't as bad as I thought it was. Oh shit, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Why was I trepidatious going into this? Here we go. So it's those otherworldly gifts. 4 of Pentacles, the firm foundation that you're standing on. This card has been coming up over the last, 2, 3 Twitchy Tuesdays. What is the firm foundation you're standing on? How are you reviewing? I love that the goose is here. Goose energy, love goose energy. Check it out. Um, here's the 4 of Pentacles. I love that the 7 is looking at the 4, like, bruh, you've got this. We're good. Let me now look at what else is cultivating. What other things are needed? What other areas are needed for change? Here, the page is looking the other way. And it's in listening, because this is a sword, it's this thought, it's the communication, hearing, is listening to the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles and saying, no, actually, I really do like my foundation is strong. Uranus is going to be testing this. Testing this. Okay. Nope, I'm good. I've got this down. I have all of these other ideas and thoughts that I want. I've got 7 more Pentacles that I want to play around with, really, maybe 3, right? That I want to fit somewhere in my foundation. What do we think about that? The Page of Swords can then look forward and go, you know what? I've got something for that. Hold on. Let me figure out where we can put those other 3 swords. Let me do some communication. Hey, Saturn, the devil. Hey, Saturn, how does that work? What are your thoughts? How would you climb this mountain? How would you do these things? What type of work do I need to put in? What type of healing needs to occur? What type of expansion do I need? What type of fears do I need to drop? Oh, look, I have a Page of Rods. I have now the energy. I've collected what I need, and I now have the energy to move that forward. This Page of Rods is literally facing forward. The 4 of Pentacles and the Page of Rods are the only 2 that are facing up, not facing in some sort of direction, only facing up. I have the energy to do what is needed right now. I know what's needed right now. Thank you, Saturn, for giving me that information. And then here we have the 2 of Cups, which at the end of it all, however long this story ends up playing out for you based on this aspect, this conjunction, it's going to come into harmony. There's balance here. There's something that came out very fortuitous, very emotionally satisfying, right? If we looked at the 3 of Swords as being that initial, man, that's a good healing journey right here. I'll take that all days. Yes, there is work that's needed. Yes, there is a thought process. Yes, you have to question the things. Yes, you need to take action. You can do it. We can all do it. We've got this. This is great. Here's this optimism. It's fucking awesome. We're going to get this to turn into this through this process. But sign me up. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Where do I get my gift back? Jupiter conjunct Uranus. All right, that is the end of that. Let me put these here. Let's see what we are doing. What do we have? Where are we going? Oh, we're going here. We're going to the Twitchy tip of the week, y'all. But before we unveil that Twitchy tip, if you have been in Transpire Journey, we would love, I would love, I would love if you could give us a cosmic blessing by hitting that heart or thumbs up, subscribing or following to our channel, whether that is on YouTube or X, and exploring our other awesome content. If you are looking to deepen your astrology journey in 2024, 2 active courses are available for you to do just that. Astro-Vision 2024 is a completely free deep dive into quarterly energies. It's got special overviews, exclusive tarot readings, downloadable charts, other downloadable content, and it is all free when you sign up. Quarter 1 is out there. You can go back and do a little recon work, what is that word? Reflection work, better word. You can also, quarter 2 is all there, so you can do recon work for quarter 2. And then one of our paid astrology programs is EFA Astrology. It is a 5-chapter learning session that dives deep into planets, signs, and houses, and how astrology can support EFA's message. It is a self-paced learning course with a private, either one-on-one or mini, meaning less than 3 other individuals with you, live session to help you synthesize that knowledge. So all of that is available. You can head to www.habitualsages.com, which links, if you want to get direct, can be found in my profile and in the description box. All right. Twitchy tip of the week. Here we go. 2 very clear, no nonsense messages. The observer. This was the Twitchy tip of the week last week, and because of the energy, it has not stopped. So, how did the observing go last week? I am interested. Put it in comments. Let me know how your observations were, what you did observe. Mine was actually very revealing. Again, I hear it and I am always also surprised when I do work and oh, that turned out amazing. So, hopefully you've had a similar experience. And if you have not been observing, have not been the silent observer, why? What has been preventing you from doing that? Is that not in alignment with you right now? Is that not resonating for you right now? What information then are you able to collect at this time? And then this one is just straight and simple for this week. Stop trying to force things. Message came in very, very clear. This is a wonderful week of integration. Don't bypass the integration and stop trying to force things to integrate when they need to be integrated in the time frame that they need to be integrated in, not in the time frame that you want them integrated in. All right, that is it for our pre-recorded Twitchy Tuesdays. I hope that that eclipse was just amazing. I am excited to share my journey with the eclipse. That is actually where we will be during Twitchy Tuesdays, is coming back from our eclipse journey. So next week, I will definitely catch everybody up with how that was. And as we wrap up this mystical journey under the moonlight, remember to stay tuned for more cosmic revelations every Twitchy Tuesday. Until next time, may your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. Blessed be, and stay twitchy, y'all.
In the cosmic dance. where stars align, Milani guides us through signs divine, astrology secrets in the night sky, revealed in her sessions where mysteries lie. Heal, thrive, grow in the mystic flow on Twitchy Tuesdays, where the curious go. Tarot cards spread futures foretold in Milani's realm. Watch the magic unfold. A sage in the digital, a guide